What's good, everybody? It's your boy Dakota. I've just done so many takes of this video. You have no idea, but I'm just here to tell you thank you so much for supporting the show. If you like what I'm doing, subscribe to the channel, leave this video a little like, leave it a little comment. If you're an audio person, leave me a little 5 stars, maybe leave me a little review. Whatever you can manage, it all means a lot and it all helps. And go ahead and check out all the links I got in the description to support both myself and whoever the guest is this week. I always try to make sure that I leave links in the description so that you can follow the fighters once the show is debuted. And I hope you enjoy this episode. Welcome to episode 109 of the Slip and Weave podcast. I got my special co-host today, my man Big Dog Lukey, and of course we got one of the best middleweights in the world right now, Troy Isley. Troy, thank you so much for coming on today, my guy.
No problem, no problem. Thank you for having me.
How things, bro? How you been? Everything good?
Yeah, everything good, everything good. Just, enjoying time off with the family, just getting back and took a week off, just getting back in the group of training last week. So, everything going good though.
I always respect when a fighter says they took a week off, like that's a long time. But like normal people, after they have like a camp or something like that, they need way more time than that. I
Yeah,
guess
yeah.
you know what I mean? Like a fighter will be like, yo, I took 5 days off. It was so long. I was like, bro, that's not really that much time off.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, when you in training camp, with BNB, we train every day. So, yeah.
So let's start off with the last fight, Javier Martinez. I know we talked a little bit about it in person, but I want to go in a little bit more in depth. What was your approach or your strategy going into that fight? Because it was a great fight, but it started off pretty physical, you know what I mean? More on the inside. And then down the stretch, it seemed like you got on your toes a little more using your skill set. What was your game plan going in? How'd that kind of play out in the ring for you?
We had the same game plan as like kind of like my last fight, systematically break them down. But the main thing was, we looked at his last fight with Raul Salomon. He was doing good with him, but he was just standing there, taking Javier's, hip shots, leg shots, and all that. And he wound up, getting stuck there and, falling into Javier's fight, and Javier, won in later rounds. So we looked at that fight and we were just like, hey, we're gonna go to the left after we shoot our shots. We're gonna go to the left. And he don't Saul made a good point. He don't punch. Javier got to get close to you to punch. Even though he does have range, he got to get close to you to punch. So he don't like to use his range. And he was like, he was telling me what Robert Garcia was saying in Spanish. He's like, get close to you, get close to you. So he's not gonna punch from the outside. So once he told me that, I was like, oh, I don't know how I didn't realize that, and I fought him 4 times, but that was kind of sort of the game plan. And I, do that, but sort of, I sort of did my own things into it. But mostly go to the left, don't stand there, you shoot your shots, go to your left, and he's not gonna throw from the outside. So I basically kept it at a distance when I wanted to slow it down a little bit.
Where's your comfort zone as a fighter? Like, where do you feel the most comfortable? Do you feel the most comfortable on the inside, or do you feel more comfortable kind of on the go?
I feel the most comfortable. I mean, wherever, honestly, and it also depends on the fighter on what he's giving me, honestly. So honestly, I mean, I like to fight on the inside mostly, and counter. But I mean, I feel like I can adjust to whatever any fighter is doing. So because I've seen a bunch of styles.
Lukey, let's talk about the rolled up sleeves for a sec. What inspired that today? What made you woke
Rolled
up
up
just kind of
sleeves.
like you're feeling yourself? Like what inspired that for you today?
I'm literally about to do bicep day. So this is my lunch
Bicep
break, and
day.
I'm about to hit. Yeah,
Bicep
I'm about to
day.
hit the biceps. And I'm about to be like Hercules, Hercules. When I hit the gym, I get my Troy Isley on. So like I like to feel good, You know, you feel good, you look good, you train good. So
Yeah.
the sleeves going up, that's part of the process for me. You know, this is real athlete stuff, Dakota. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
giving you, real athlete stuff. Should I ask Troy a question?
Yeah, go crazy, bro.
All right, let me go crazy. Troy, what was up with you two hitting each other in the dick and stuff? Like
I
those
mean,
low
he was
blows.
hitting me low. He was hitting me low, trying to slow me down. So I mean, honestly, I'm not gonna let nobody slow me down and try to bully me and kind of. I don't know. I don't see it and complain to the ref. Oh, he's hitting me low. He's hitting me low. Then he keeps hitting you low. And then the ref don't call it. Then I break down. And then Javier has a spectacular win. And it's like, oh, what happened to Troy? Did he break down? Did he break down? No, he's hitting me low. He's hitting me with hip shots the whole entire fight. He never threw a clean body shot the whole fight. If you look at it, hip and look at his last fight. We told the refs we were ready for it. He's not gonna throw no low. He throw all hip shots, all leg shots, slow you down. And if you look at my fight, he didn't throw any body shots.
So that
So
that was
how do
something
you
you were aware of coming in.
So yeah, it was more so. I did fall into his fight a little bit. Next time I'll try to. I won't be so obvious about it. So I mean, yeah, next time I won't be so obvious about it. But hey, I mean, he was doing it to me, so I did it back. But it was bad.
I'm kind of curious about the emotion of the moment. How did you stay composed in that? Because I feel like most fighters' mindset is, and you had a back history with Javier. You guys fought at the trials. You had fought before. How did you
Yeah.
get emotional when that was happening in the fight? Can you talk us
I
through
mean,
that
I was
process?
winning. I was winning, so I would say I was winning, but I knew I was having a good night, and I figured he was just trying to frustrate me. I know Javier, he's a dirty fighter, so I knew, I knew, I know what type of fighter he is. He'll do whatever to win. So I wasn't honestly, I'm me being not losing my composure. That's just like I'm just patient and relaxed and stuff like that. That's just a natural. That's just something that I don't know. It just I don't be losing my cool. Now I may lose my cool in the sparring session, but when it comes to fights, I'm relaxed. Um, I don't know. I just don't phase when it's fight time. That's just something about me. I would say don't phase, but I don't lose my cool. I keep it relaxed. And
Did
then
it
also,
ever
Bomac, great coaching too. So, the third round, I lost the third round. I won the first two. And then, Robert got on him in the third, at the end of the second. He came out. He had a strong, third round. And, and instead of yelling, Bomac said, hey, you don't got to fight with this dude. Your punch is too sharp. You're way too fast. Your punch is too sharp. You know what I'm saying? I just got right back on, what I need to get on. And then I think in the seventh round, he's tired, dude. Push him. I'm
fight?
feeling good. I'm feeling good, honestly. Like I'm feeling good. You know what I'm saying? Like mentally and physically. So when I'm in there, I'm feeling the same way. And I'm having
Well,
a good camp, and I'm saying, began good sparring too as well. So I was ready for Javier, like with Adames, getting sparring with Adames and Crawford, doing good with them. I was like, Javier, if I can do this with them, I know I can do this with Javier. So yeah,
were Adamas and Crawford kind of your two primary sparring partners going into this one?
they wasn't honestly. I only sparred them 2 times, but I did so good with them. I was like, okay, I'm ready.
Right. So that's always a good measuring stick. Did it ever occur to you during the
Yeah,
fight with all of the low blows and the dirty tactics and whatever that you or him might lose points or get disqualified or that something could actually happen in the fight? Or in your mind, are you like, all right, I know what that line is, and as long as he does it first and I answer, it just is what it is.
yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean?
Kind of. I know what the line is. I ain't gonna go too crazy. I wasn't gonna let it go too crazy. And honestly, once he said if you get the cue, nobody gets paid, I was like, okay, let me tame it down a little bit. But yeah. Honestly, yeah, I didn't think it was going to go get too out of control.
So when we met in person the other day, you talked about how in the next 2 to 3 fights, you're going to be in there with Janibek. Is that something that's set in stone?
I'm not gonna say it's set in stone, but that's something that we want. So that's the
Yeah.
goal. I know we'll be ready in 2 to 3 fights for sure. We'll be ready for a world title fight. So I mean, that's on Janibek to take it. But I'm pretty sure it can happen. We both are top ranked, and I don't see that fight not happening in 2 to 3 fights.
I guess what can we expect from you in those 2 to 3 fights?
So I mean, strong competition. I mean, our next opponent is gonna be a good one. So I mean, I've already heard one of the names. So we're definitely looking to form a champ route. So it's gonna be a good opponent, and whoever I fight is getting me ready for Janibek. And when that time comes, 2 to 3 fights from now, I swear I'll be ready for him.
All right, let's try to get Troy in trouble. You ready, Dakota?
Fucking
Let's try
guy.
to get him in trouble. Is this a guy that is one of the names a guy that's fought his career at middleweight, or is it someone that was a champion at a lower weight class?
I'm not getting it.
You like how I prefaced it, right?
Hey, he he won a belt at 54.
Okay, that's
Okay.
all we need. So now the
Yeah,
internet.
yeah, yeah,
There you go, Dakota. You got yourself an
yeah.
exclusive.
Yeah.
Um,
People can run with that as they please, I guess, right?
they can run with, yeah, they can. I think there's an Instagram page out there that's gonna go crazy today. Um, Troy, are you ranked in the top 15 of any of the sanctioning bodies? Because I was looking right now and I'm not really trying that hard, but I don't see your
I'm
name up
trying.
there.
I talk about it, bro. I've been calling and asking about it, but I don't know. They say they're supposed to be changed in June and stuff like that. But you know me. I can't catch a break. I can't catch a break. You know me, man. Hey, but we'll figure it out soon, and what I'm saying, I'll be in there. But
What do you think of the state of your division, bro? Because you got Janibek, but you got a lot of older, kind of inactive champions in your division. Um, what do
I
you
feel like
look
it's
at
there
as
for the taking. It's mine for the
okay?
taking. But I also feel like we got some young guys coming up. What is the guy that beat Ammo? I mean, he's pretty good. You still got to watch out for Ammo. I mean, we got some young people. We just got to fight each other. People in the middleweight division don't want to fight each other. They want all this big payday. And you know what I'm saying? Everyone wants a Canelo payday, but you know what I'm saying? You're not a Canelo. You're not bringing the Canelo money. Oh, you're not a Canelo, guy. So that's all. But I feel like, it's there for the taking, and, it's mine. And, nobody wants to fight Janibek. So, hey, if Janibek's the title I got to get first, hey, that's cool. I'm with it. But honestly, I think, Janibek hasn't really fought anybody, but hey, it's cool.
How good do you think he is? Like, shoot with me straight.
I mean, I think he got power. And I think he likes to keep it on the outside and stuff like that. But I haven't seen him. I don't know. But I think he got power. I think he's a decent fighter. But I just think I'm a better fighter, and I just think I'm the transformer. I can adjust to whatever's in there in the ring in front of me.
He reminds me of Victor Postol. He's like a middleweight Victor Postol to me.
I think that's a good
Mm,
comparison. Troy, do you think
that
it'll
is that
take
is.
you getting ranked to get him in the ring with you, or do you think that he's in need of interesting opponents? And so just the fact that you guys are both with top rank will make it easier, convenient enough for him to make that fight.
A little bit of both, but I'd rather be in the rankings. But I think he needs good challenging competition. I don't think he's been in there besides Bentley. And I actually asked for Bentley recently. That's another fighter I like to, get in there with. So but I mean I feel like Bentley kind of showed flaws in his game, but I feel like yeah he needs competition. I feel like the guy he unified and beat for the title. I feel like I could beat him now.
I want to bring up a guy that you brought up earlier, Hamza Shiraz, the guy that wound up stopping Ammo Williams. What's your thoughts on him? He's a tall, pretty explosive, big guy at middleweight. Is that a fight that you're interested in before getting in with Janibek? Is that someone you're interested in fighting, or do you see that as something that's a big fight down the road?
I see that as a big fight down the road.
What did you think of that performance?
I mean, I expected it. Ammo, he relies on his athleticism, but I expected it. Ammo's not a heck of a boxer, so I didn't think he was gonna win unless he, landed that shot. And he almost did a few times, but yeah.
Another guy I wanted to ask you about too, who fought this past weekend, was Shane Mosley Jr. got a win over Danny Jacobs. I think winning every round, at least on one of the judges' scorecards. Is that a fight you would be interested in? Because I think that Shane's a guy.
I think that I would be interested in that fight. But I mean, maybe before I step in there with Janibek, or I'd be interested in a fight like that now.
He's a tough
But
guy, bro. I feel like he's been in the mix for a big fight for a long time now, and I feel like you're right at that point where he would be a step up for you, and you'd also be a little bit of a step up for him as far as getting in with a young, hungry, unbeaten guy. I think that's a hell of a fight.
yeah, I like that fight. I've actually asked. I'm sorry, I asked for that fight, but I like that fight. I want that fight. So, Shane Mosley Jr., if you're out here, you're listening, hey, Troy Isley, would love to step in the ring and, get the fans a hell of a fight.
I guess another thing that I like, what do you, Janibek's fighting this weekend? I've never heard of the guys fighting. You're a
Yeah.
middleweight. I'd assume you do homework on these guys. Is there
I
any,
mean, he's okay. He's strong, but I don't think he's gonna pose any threat to Janibek. It look like Janibek gonna catch the guy and knock him out.
like, if he was gasoline, is this Chevron or is this AMPM? Kind of like watered down gas.
Water down.
Watered down. Okay.
But
So
he's young now, so I'll give him the benefit. I'll give him a chance, and I think he's like one rank, like one spot ahead of me on box right. So, but I'll give him a shot, but I don't think he's gonna do anything with
what
Janibek.
I just wanted to kind of make a statement and then hear what you had to think about it is Janibek arguably could have beaten two of the weaker champions or fighters to become champion. Like Danny Dignam, in my opinion, isn't a world championship level boxer, and he won his vacant title against a guy that I honestly think is more of a prospect level fighter. Gutierrez, I never saw him fight before that fight, and he was just simply outclassed. I think that part of the problem with this middleweight division and why we're looking at young fighters to emerge is these world title defenses and wins just frankly aren't interesting, and the fighters aren't unifying in your division. So we're looking for someone to come into this middleweight division as fans and shake it up and cultivate interesting matchups.
That's a little bit of what I said. Yeah, the big fighters not fighting each other.
It's just like
Yeah,
it's a transition of eras because the era before you was the Danny Jacobs, Jamal Charlo, Golovkin, and a lot of those guys have either retired formally or just like
take Charlo out of there. He ain't fighting nobody.
that's what I'm saying, bro.
You take Charlo
They're
out of
of
there.
a
Yeah.
different era. They're of a different era, but they're holding on to belts. He had a belt up until I don't know, like 2 months ago, that he was just holding
Yeah.
hostage for 3 years.
Yeah. Nah, yeah. I mean, I agree. The middleweight quiet right now. Unified champions aren't really aren't fighting each other, so that's kind of what it is.
Why is Bomac such a good coach? Like, what's the secret, bro?
Yeah, what's the secret sauce on that, bro? Because it seems even like Chris Eubank gets knocked out by Liam Smith, and then he has the rematch and he knocks Liam. Like it just seems like Bomac gets the most out of everybody that's in there.
A little bit of that. Yeah, he knows how to get the most out you, but he got a great system, with that whole B&B great system, but he just I mean, the best coach in the game. Put it like that. The best coach in the game. I mean, uh, honestly, I mean, film, just being in there. Honestly, all the things he says, he you already know how to do. I'm just here to remind you for real. So honestly, it's just him was them like, I wouldn't say like making me more, I don't know, putting confidence in me, but so I say like, all right, so I mean, with Red and Saul, they focus like, on counterpunch, timing, and then Red offense, defense, and stuff like that. Bomac is more like rhythm like head movement, and he more like he all around basically. Like he focuses on everything. He can call out stuff. Um, when you train in like the Marcos camp, for instance. I've never had a camp where I was like sparring so good, and I was doing everything good. He was like, take off 2 days. You know what I'm saying? You're sparring too good. Like, and I felt like he was playing, or I felt like you know what I'm saying, like why I need to take off 2 days. But you know what I'm saying, when I fought, I was like, okay, yeah. He was like, you're peaking too early. I don't want you to, you know what I'm saying, peak too early before you fight. So stuff like that. I ain't been a part of coaching like that. But he's a great coach, and he definitely brought the old Troy back, the Troy that Luke used to see as an amateur. I mean the Troy, basically, yeah, the Troy
The
that
one
Luke used to
that
see
I
as an
saw that
amateur.
was that guy,
Yeah.
and you disappeared for a little bit. I don't know where you went, but for a little while, I thought you were bored, because I started to question, do I know what I'm talking about? Because you started, no disrespect. Like there was a guy like Victor Tony, right? And I think he gives everybody fits because he's not really trying to win. He's tricky. He's going to
Yeah.
offset your rhythm. But you had a lot of performance where you just kind of blended in on the undercard. And I didn't see you as a fighter that could just be comfortable being an undercard fighter, if I'm being honest.
No, that's not what it is at all. Not what it is at all. I wasn't. I feel like I wasn't. I felt like I needed a change. Needed a change. Just different voice, different teaching, and more one-on-one time. I got that the Vladimir fight, and I got that the Marcos fight. This fight we worked a little more as a team, but in between I got my own one-on-one time, and they got so good of a system that what I'm saying, even if you are working with multiple people, they got three different coaches. So you getting what you need to get, and then they got the strength coaches, Chet, and if they're gone, Bo McNaughton do the strength coaches. So you gonna be in shape.
What did you get at Trader Joe's?
What do I get at Trader Joe's? My
Yeah, I
family
see
just
the
worked
bag
at
there.
my family.
I want to know what the
My
champ.
family worked there.
Oh, okay. I thought you got a good meal.
Yeah, yeah. My mom, no, my dad used to work there, but my mom works there like that's like her. I wouldn't say part time, but one of her second jobs. Yeah, she does the. I don't know where it's like they still for a chaperone a person on, like that's the job she does, and then she works at Trader Joe's as a second job.
So knowing the hard work ethic of your family just from hearing that story, how much does that motivate you to want to fight at Janibek and to kind of want to ease some of the financial stress for your family?
So I mean, it's good. I mean, seeing them work 2, 3 jobs, that's. I think about them every time. I'm out in camp working out. I'm running miles. So that's definitely a goal. To get my family a house and get us out of here. So I'm
Well,
gonna
my
do it.
my guy Paulie Malignaggi has this saying, right? And he said it on a podcast, I think, about his grandma's couch. When he was a young pro, he was sleeping on his grandma's couch or something to that extent. Maybe I'm remembering it wrong, but that was his motivation when he got his jaw broken in that fight that he did. I guess, was it Cotto where he got
Yeah,
his
it was the
job?
Cotto fight.
So he got his jaw
Yeah.
broken in that fight, and he found motivation to fight through. And I think what I'm getting at by bringing that story up is, as a fighter, I think one of the biggest things nobody ever talks about is, what is your why? And I think you're talking to us about what your why is, because it's not a matter of if you're going to have a hard fight, it's when you're going to have a hard fight. And I think it's the why that takes the great fighters to the greatness.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, did you guys think the fight was going to be closer with me and Hav?
Honestly, bro, I didn't know what to expect. I thought you were gonna win, but like
You just didn't
Javier,
know how ugly.
to keep it real with you, Javier's the hardest pro I've ever seen to assess because sometimes he's getting dropped by journeymen. Sometimes he's knocking out guys you think he'd go 10 rounds with. Sometimes he's throwing a million punches. Sometimes he's throwing 10 punches. For the life, I knew he was going to be physical. I knew he was going to be dirty. I knew he was going to be emotional. I just didn't. I don't know how to ever see. Did you know what he was going to be like, Troy, when you got there? Did you know how he was going to be because you've been around him and you fought him so much?
I didn't know about like all the dirtiness and like all of that, but emotional and all of that. But I knew he was the same fighter. I figured he was the same fighter. He didn't change since the amateurs. So that's one thing I knew. I know this guy's the same fighter. I know he's gonna try to come in there and he thinks the same. He's gonna be the same way as an amateur. So he started getting frustrated because I wasn't the same fighter he thought I was gonna be.
I mean, going
Well,
into it, I definitely thought that you were the favorite in my mind. I thought that the question is how much are you going to let the fight be physical? Because the more physical the fight is, the more it favors him. The more you're allowed to get a little air on the outside and get your combinations off, the more that benefits you. And so to me, it's like the first half of the fight's kind of 50-50, and then you pull away on the back half. Um, but I think that again, like you said, Lukey, Javier's a tough guy because he's so up and down, up and down. But at the end of the day, he's always a tough out. So for you making that adjustment in the second half, I think that's the part that I'm really looking for when I'm watching is like you didn't let that fight stay the same way so that it's 50-50 right up to the finish line. It's like you really found that way to separate yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel like the talent gap was shown for sure.
I like the press conference too, bro. That was some very respectful trash talking. You were trash talking, but you did it in a very mild mannered way. I also liked
Yeah,
Javier's mean mug on you. He's got a big head and he frowned at you.
he did.
And when you faced off, he hit you with like a
Oh
mean mug,
yeah,
and he kind of
yeah.
leaned in and hit you with a frowny face. I love. I see. I've studied those little, but I felt like at the press conference, I knew you were locked in because you sounded like a fighter that was locked in. There's a way that fighters, when they're really focused, they kind of come off very boring. And you were talking your trash, but you just sounded like a very focused, locked in fighter.
Agree. I knew I had a great camp. Like I said, getting good sparring in Vegas, sparring in Colorado, and then two good sessions with Bud and the dumbass. So I felt real good going into it.
Uh, Dakota, I got to go back to work in 5 minutes.
Yes, sir.
So thank you for having me on, Troy. Thank you, Dakota. I got to go back to work.
Handle biz,
It
my
was
guy.
really fun. Yeah, it was really fun. Troy, you're an amazing fighter.
Thank you.
I got a couple other things I wanted to ask you. One of them is on the Shakur undercard the other day. We had this wild decision with Shock Foster and Robson Conceicao, where it's pretty obvious that Troy won, or that I'm sorry, that the Shock won 10, 11, maybe even all 12 rounds of that fight. What is your reaction as a fighter when you're watching that? Because as a fan, when I'm watching, it's so shocking, but I can't even imagine what it's like for the fighter that's having that happen, where it's like, you did everything right. You were on your P's and Q's. And yet for whatever reason, and I couldn't even really begin to guess what that reason is, the judges just don't see it that way.
Yeah, it sucks. It sucks. It's heartbreaking, honestly, and discouraging. Makes you feel like I did all this for what? But I mean, it's boxing, but it sucks. And I feel bad, for Shanique. I know him, from growing up, training with him in the gym. So, that hurt me. It hurt to see that real bad, to see, brother like that, nearly, in tears in the ring. So it was something bad, and something that I would do to watch out for it is I mean, I let my hands go, so hey, it's obvious. I don't know, just let your hands go a little more. That's something I would do to avoid that.
Yeah, I
Let your
mean,
hands
listen.
go, make it obvious that you hitting the guy, not moving so much.
So you think it's more so a mad, or at least the lesson if you're shocked is like, yeah, if you know you're boxing, you know that you're winning every round, right? But you got to do
Yeah,
something for these judges to make it a little more visually obvious that you're the fighter that's
yeah,
in control.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Just and you can pop shot him, and you pop shot him, and move like I mean, you see how Shakur does it. Shakur just got great distance, and he really don't get touched with it. So Shakur get away with it, but other fighters they don't have the other fighters. They trying to get away, so it looks different. It don't look like they're in control.
And I think sometimes too with Shock, he would make him miss 4 or 5 times, and sometimes he'd counter, and sometimes he wouldn't. So if you're a judge and you're not
He
paying
wouldn't.
that close
Yeah,
attention, you see a guy letting his hands go and he's hitting shoulder and he's hitting glove, but if the other guy's not answering, maybe that's all you remember. Even if those aren't scoring punches, I think sometimes that does
yeah,
happen with judges where they're just like they're only seeing who's throwing, who's coming forward. They're not really looking at the whole fight.
nah. Definitely, definitely. There's a lot of reasons, but it's definitely messed up though.
What was a tougher fight for you? Was Vladimir Hernandez tougher or Javier Martinez? Because with Javier, obviously he's fighting a dirty fight, but with Vladimir, I mean, he's just such a tough physical guy. He's got a nice little boxing IQ too on the inside. Which one of those fights was tougher for you, and which one did you kind of learn more from?
Vladimir was tougher. I mean, Vladimir was tougher. I feel like the last 3 rounds, like mentally helped me because my last 2 fights, honestly, like me hitting Vladimir with like a bunch of shots, and then Vladimir, still coming, still coming, and then me hitting Javier or Marcos with them same shots and them, still coming or them, trying to whenever they try to like pick up the pace on me, it's easy to turn it down because fighting at Vladimir, they haven't fought at Vladimir's pace. So I just felt like, the fight with Vladimir, really helped me out. And I feel like ever since that fight, mentally, I've been a totally different fighter. I feel like it catapulted me up, made me stronger mentally, made me more confident, made me feel as if so, whatever these fighters are doing, that's not phasing me.
And we talked about this at the presser too. Like he's a guy, he keeps knocking out these unbeaten guys. He's like an O snatcher. You know what I mean? Like he doesn't read the script before the
Yeah, yeah,
fight.
yeah.
He's not showing up to lose. He's not
Yeah.
showing up for a check. He's showing up to win. What makes him so tough? Because, he's got whatever 5, 6 losses. He doesn't have the prettiest record in the world, but he's a guy that seems to get the job done a lot of times. And you
He
were
in
able to
shape.
figure it out.
He's in shape. He's in shape, but you got to stay like how you guys were asking me like how do I stay composed and relaxed and calm with a guy like that, like that's key. You can't stay like you can't be like you gotta stay relaxed and with a guy like him. And honestly, you can run from him, but you can't run from him so much. So that's why in spots I stood there and fought him. But when I did, I was backing him up in them spots that I was actually getting the better of it. So you just I felt like I've seen that style before. So I mean, getting ready for Vladimir, I felt like I fought the Ukrainian guy at Worlds. I felt like he was similar to Vladimir. I fought a guy at Pan Am qualifiers, a Nicaraguan guy that was like Mexican. He wasn't Mexican, but I think he was Nicaraguan, but he was like trying to put his head in my chest and all that. So I've seen these styles before. It's just Vladimir is dangerous though because he's in shape. You got to be for a prospect. You got to be in shape. He's dangerous for a prospect. For a prospect, yes, he's dangerous. A contender, he's still dangerous, but you know what I'm saying. For a prospect, you better be in shape, and you know what I'm saying, you better have the right team, and you know what I'm saying, you gotta be ready. You gotta be ready, and your background, you gotta have seen, these styles. But he's dangerous for a prospect, for a prospect to fight for sure. And I mean, I figured he was gonna be like we were gonna go the distance with him. I knew going into that fight, I wasn't gonna knock him out and all that. And people got on me about, getting tired and stuff like that. But I mean, honestly, I had 10, 11 fights when I fought them. Everybody else that fought them, they had either, when they were prospects, they fought them, they lost. And then, contenders, Ramos had 15 plus fights, J Rock had 15 plus fights. Everybody didn't have, 10 fights when they fought him. So that's kind of that's the most what I took. I'm like, okay,
And
I
he
just beat
beat
this
J
dude.
Rock.
They only had 10 fights and the rest of yeah, and he beat J Rock, he beat everybody else. So that's kind of
Did
what
you
I
get
took out of it.
tired?
And
Did you actually
I
get
mean,
tired?
I got tired, but I mean, he wasn't hitting me. My defense was good, and I mean, he ain't win. He ain't do enough to win. But I mean, I'm not gonna say I was tired, but fighting at his pace, yeah, I could have been in better shape.
Troy, do you have any idea when we can expect to see you back in the ring?
Sometime in the fall,
Sometime in the fall?
October, November. Mm-hmm.
Well, shit, bro. I definitely look forward to seeing you back in. Definitely one of my favorite fighters going right now. I love watching your style. I love watching how you've evolved into this combination puncher. You become a little more versatile as your career's going on. So I'm forward to seeing what comes next, bro.
Nothing but great things coming ahead, my guy. I appreciate you.
Anybody, anything, anywhere you want to shout out before we wrap it up?
Shout out Venom. Shout out thank God first. I appreciate him, for my family, for this life, for everything. Shout out Venom, my sponsor. And shout out my team ALX, and shout out BNB.
All right, champ. Appreciate your time, bro, as always. We'll talk soon. All right, man.
Appreciate you. All right.